I don't live here because I want to. I live here because there's nowhere else left for me to go. No one is looking for me here. No one expects anything from me. And that silence is exactly why I came. If you had met me years ago, you would never believe this is where my life would end up. Back then, rooms went quiet when I spoke. People waited for my decisions, and my name carried weight. Now I sit in a place where my name means nothing at all. I didn't lose everything in one mistake, and there was no single day when my life collapsed. This place didn't take anything from me. I gave it away slowly, one choice at a time. Choices that felt small, harmless, easy to justify. Power felt normal back then. Money stopped being a concern. Control became routine. And when power becomes routine, you stop questioning it. I told myself I had earned it, that I had earned the right to live above consequences, above limits, above other people. Success started to feel like freedom, and freedom convinced me I could do whatever I wanted. Warnings stopped sounding like wisdom and started sounding like jealousy. Advice felt like weakness when the world kept rewarding me. Without realizing it, people stopped being people. They became numbers. Numbers became strategies. Strategies became decisions, and those decisions left damage behind. I convinced myself kindness was a liability, and that slowing down meant losing ground. So I kept moving forward no matter who I stepped over. The damage didn't arrive loudly or announce itself. It came quietly, behind closed doors, behind polite smiles, behind handshakes that meant nothing. I crossed lines I knew I shouldn't have crossed, but I always had an excuse ready. When people got hurt, I called it collateral. When trust broke, I called it business. When relationships cracked, I told myself they were replaceable. I believed later would fix everything, that one day the results would justify the damage. But later never came. Relationships didn't end in arguments or dramatic goodbyes. They faded into silence. Calls stopped coming. Messages went unanswered. Even at home, I felt like a stranger walking through a life I no longer belonged to. I had everything I once chased: success, control, recognition. But I was missing the one thing that made any of it worth keeping, and still I refused to stop. I told myself I was too far in to turn back. The fall wasn't dramatic either. There was no single moment where everything collapsed. It came in pieces. First the questions, then the distance. People who once stood beside me suddenly needed space. Doors that once opened without effort stayed closed. I tried to fight it the only way I knew how, with pressure, influence, and money. But power has limits, and when you reach them, it disappears faster than it came. For the first time in my life, I wasn't in control, and that realization terrified me. When the noise finally stopped, there was only silence. No pressure, no applause, no one asking for anything. Just me, alone with the weight of everything I had done. Silence doesn't argue or judge. It only reflects. It shows you every warning you ignored, every person you dismissed, every line you crossed when you thought no one was watching. Out here, there was no system to blame, no enemies to fight, no excuses left to hide behind. Only my choices. I didn't come here to rebuild or to be forgiven. I came here to disappear away from expectations, away from titles, away from the version of myself I was tired of defending. For the first time in my life, I was forced to look at myself without power, without success, without control. And what I saw was someone I barely recognized, someone who had confused strength with cruelty, confidence with arrogance, and success with meaning. I'm not telling this story for sympathy or understanding. I'm telling it because mistakes don't end when success does. They wait quietly until the noise fades, until the applause stops, until there's nowhere left to run and nothing left to hide behind. Power is temporary, it always is. But the damage you do with it lasts longer than you expect. I lost my life long before I lost my success. And now all I have left is this silence and the truth it finally forced me to see.